News time 8:38. The Raptors are still looking for their first road win of the season. The streak hitting near record territory as they fell in the final seconds. 680's Simon Bennett has the sounds from last night in Detroit.
It was close in Motown. Game tied at 100. Detroit held onto the ball for the final 22 seconds so they could get the last shot.
Ivy with three. He's got to make a move. He does. And the buzzer. A heartbreaker.
Jaden Ivey for the win. Detroit took the game at the gong, 102-100. The Raptors starting 0-10 on the road. That ties the club record. Also in 97-98 when they still played at then Skydome. Head coach Darko Rajakovic and learning to win close games.
You need to want to be in those situations, to embrace the moment, to embrace competing, to embrace when the game is on the line.
They're still on the road for two more. Next up tomorrow in New Orleans, I'm Simon Bennett.
680 News Time 8:39.
Royal Lighting has teamed up with famous Mateo Lighting Designs to save you an additional 20 to 30% off their everyday low prices on over 2,000 styles. A genuine sale by Royal Lighting offering unmatched savings on chandeliers, pendants, vanity and wall lights, flushes, and outdoor lights from Mateo Lighting at extra savings of 20 to 30% off. And soon, Royal Lighting, 1549 Avenue Road, north of Lawrence, or royallighting.com.
Still to come on 680 News Radio, eastbound 401 collectors closed from the 410-403 to Dixie due to a police investigation. You'll hear traffic and weather together.
680 News Time 8:40.
At Newboro, we develop unique plans so people can unlock the equity in their home. Unique like this one. It's called the Jacksons Plan. Christopher and Gabrielle's son is off to school to play soccer and study engineering. Go Quinton. They were juggling the cost of school, their current debts, and needed a specialized plan of attack. So now, while others only dream about goals, Quinton can score them. Reach out today. We'll work side by side to unlock the equity in your home.
Use your home to get a loan with Newboro.
License 13115.
Ho, ho, holy moly.
Santa, welcome to Indigo.
Heather, Indigo's chief book lover. Just who I was looking for. I need the perfect book for my young readers who loved Harry Potter. Any ideas?
Oh, yes. Impossible Creatures is the book to enthrall Potterheads.
Well, I'm ho-ho happy I ran into you.
Who's next on your list, Santa?
At Indigo, we've got gifts so special, even Santa shops here.
680 News Time 8:41.
Time for traffic and weather together on the ones for Leon's. In the traffic cruiser, here's Kyle Hawking.
Well, it's no good on the eastbound 401. We've still got this closure of the collector lanes starting at the 410 and 403 through to Dixie Road. So as you approach the area, if you're in the collectors, you're forced onto the 410 or the 403, whichever one you choose, and then you can take an alternate from there. If you get onto the 403, the first chance to get off will be Eglinton. Then you can just take that back over to Dixie and get back on the 401. Onto the 410 northbound, get off at Courtney Park or maybe Derry. Both busy over to Dixie, and then it is a little bit slow getting back to the 401 heading southbound. But, of course, the alternate's not quite as heavy as the 401 itself. If you stay in the express, you won't be forced off. But it is heavy traffic from Mississauga Road through to Dixie, both in those express and in the collector lanes. Very, very slow, and the collectors being forced off the highway. As a result of this, eastbound 403 collector ramp and southbound 410 ramp to the eastbound 401 both closed because of the collector lane closure here. You'll find delays beyond this from Dixon to Kiel, Ultra Express and collectors, but just volume. West 401 slow Brock Street to Salem, Markham Road to Avenue Express and collectors, and in this section, if you're transferring into the express at Bayview, watch for a stalled transport on that transfer in the right lane. As you approach Kiel, collectors, stalled vehicle in the ramp lane, so it's busy west of the island approaching Kiel in the collectors, and then again from Kiel, express and collectors to Dixon. From the 680 Traffic Center, Craig Gear.
We had a problem on the eastbound 403 clear away at Waterdown. You still have a delay from about Wilson to east of the link, and then heavy from 6 south to Waterdown, but it is getting better. Just clearing away, and it's already looking a little easier on the eastbound 403. Toronto-bound QEW slow at the Skyway to North Shore, Guelph line to third line through Dorval as well, even, and slow Erin Mills to Dixie. East Gardner from Kipling all the way through to east of Jameson thanks to the long-term construction. North DVP dragging north of Don Mills to north of Lawrence. Now, 7 southbound still with a crash approaching Aurora Road in the left lane. Delays from Davis Drive to approaching Aurora Road on the South 404. Also busy south of Steeles down to Bayview Bloor and south of Bloor to Richmond. Northbound 400, it's construction north of King Road in the right lane with a delay. Westbound Gardner, I'm looking at this stalled transport truck. It's still there approaching Jameson. It's inside the construction nightmare anyway. It's off to the right side. Delays from approaching Jarvis towards Jameson. Leon's Better Than Black Friday sale is on now. Save up to 50% on select furniture and mattresses, plus get Black Friday specials on select appliances. Ends Wednesday. With the forecast, Jill Taylor.
Falling temperatures from a morning guaranteed high today. 8 degrees. We'll sit at about 4 this afternoon, but it'll feel like 0 with that wind. It's quite strong out of the west today. Gusts right now at 46 kilometers per hour. And generally cloudy, windy through the day. Only a chance of showers. 0 for the low. 4 degrees tomorrow. Partly cloudy. Right now, 6 degrees at Toronto Pearson. The guaranteed high this morning, 8.
680 News Time, 8:44.
Another day older and another day deeper in debt. Canadian consumer debt loads have apparently never been higher.
Mike Eppel reports from the 680 Business Center.
Of all Canadian consumer debt, whether it's credit cards, car loans, or household mortgages, now at a record $2.5 trillion in the third quarter. Many Canadians continuing to struggle with the high cost of living and rising unemployment, according to the latest quarterly survey from Equifax. Interestingly, the late payments have actually been dropping following recent interest rate cuts. Having said that, there are two specific components of the debt market right now. Newcomers and consumers who borrowed money for the first time in the past 12 to 36 months, seeing an increase in missed payments. Another credit bureau, TransUnion, this morning saying total consumer debt rose 4.1% in the third quarter as more Gen Z consumers entered the credit market for the first time, making them the fastest growing segment to carry an outstanding balance. At the Business Center, I'm Mike Eppel.
Amazon Black Friday week is here with up to 35% off toys to stuff their stocking. Noise-canceling tech to silent their night. And fashion like slippers to missile their toes. Shop Amazon's Black Friday deals now.
Where do you find your go-to festive favorites? At Metro, of course. Get high-quality meat like boneless, skinless chicken breast for just $4.66 per pound. But only until November 27th at your go-to Metro or online at metro.ca.
For decades, clean, reliable nuclear power has safely provided over 50% of Ontario's electricity. This low-cost, low-carbon energy source helps power our homes, schools, hospitals, and businesses. And as our population and economy grows and energy demands rise, nuclear will continue to power the lives of Ontarians for generations to come. See how nuclear is helping power the future at opg.com.
The more you listen, the more you'll know. 680 News Radio.
It's cloudy, 7 degrees in downtown Toronto. Good morning. I'm Catherine Jeté.
I'm Paul Cook. Here are the top stories this Tuesday morning.
Traffic alert. The eastbound 401 collectors closed from the 410-403 to Dixie due to a police investigation. Business and political leaders are expressing concern after U.S. President-elect Donald Trump said on social media he plans to slap a 25% tariff on goods from Canada and Mexico. And the province's police watchdog has been called in after a stolen car full of teenagers collided with another vehicle at Eglinton and Brimley last night, injuring several people.
Time now for sports.
From Sportsnet 590 The Fan, here's Simon Bennett.
And Catherine, the Toronto Raptors at the wrong end of an instant win for Detroit. It was a buzzer beater from Jaden Ivey last night. They held onto the ball for the final 22 seconds and got the last shot to go. 102-100 Detroit winning it. Toronto now 0-10 on the road. They have 2 more games left in his road trip. They face the Pelicans in New Orleans tomorrow. Monday Night Football, John Harbaugh now 3-0 against little brother Jim. John's Ravens wrapped Week 12 with a 30-23 victory over Jim's LA Chargers. The Ravens now 8-4. NHL last night, Ottawa Senators beat Calgary 4-3, ending their 5-game skid. The Jets at 18-4 now picked up the 4-1 win over the Wild. The Maple Leafs face the Panthers in Sunrise tomorrow night. Sports at 15:45 past every hour or anytime at sportsnet.ca.
680 News Radio Traffic Alert.
This is Kyle Hawking in the 680 traffic cruiser. Eastbound 401 collector lanes closed from the 410 and 403 to Dixie Road for an ongoing collision and police investigation. The 680 traffic watch continues.
4-time Super Bowl champion for the Pittsburgh Steelers, 2-time Super Bowl MVP and NFL Hall of Famer, Terry Bradshaw, April 13th, the Avalon Theater at Fallsview Casino. An evening of stories on how Bradshaw became one of the most prolific quarterbacks in history, continued on to become a multi-Emmy award-winning broadcaster, Sports Broadcasting Hall of Fame inductee, actor, and singer. Tickets on sale now at Ticketmaster. Terry Bradshaw, April 13th, the Avalon Theater at Fallsview Casino.
Experience the magic of the holiday season at the Distillery Winter Village, on now until January 5th at the Distillery District. Stroll cobblestone streets under a canopy of lights, enjoy your favorite festive flavors, see Santa, and take in the stunning 55-foot-tall Christmas tree. It's the picture-perfect place to capture your best holiday memories. The Distillery Winter Village, open daily. For tickets and event details, visit thedistillerywintervillage.com.
A family is speaking out about their 3-year ordeal after they say a GTA hospital lost the remains of their stillborn baby. Rachel Osborne Hutchinson says staff at Etobicoke General recommended sending the body to Sick Kids for an autopsy, but the Children's Hospital never received the remains. And as we hear from City News reporter Cynthia Mulligan, Etobicoke General initially said it didn't have the body either.
Out of the blue, almost 2 years later, she gets a phone call.
She said, "Oh, we have your daughter's body. She was here the whole time." They were just saying, "Come pick her up," like I had left my child at daycare or something.
And this is 2 years.
2 years later. Where was she all this time? And now, honestly, is the body that you're trying to give me even my daughter? I haven't been able to say goodbye to her properly, so it's this lingering thing that just weighs on my chest, like I'm anxious all the time.
There is good news. She has had a beautiful little girl since, but since the hospital called her, it's been a year. They've been in a standstill because she would like a DNA test to prove that the child she is burying is actually hers.
Osborne Hutchinson says the hospital has refused a DNA test. Her lawyer calling this a case of gross negligence. The hospital says it won't comment on a patient's case. 680 News Time, 8:50.
It's the News Radio Sustainability Report with Richard Detman.
Powered by Enbridge Sustain.
As our population grows and accessing important resources gets harder, things like having clean water will continue to be at the forefront. Sustainable water purification technologies are growing in interest as they provide very real solutions to large-scale issues. Technologies like reverse osmosis and UV filtration greatly improve quality and provide access to safe, clean water. Increasing the amount of fresh water available and innovating portable solutions will have an enormous impact on human health, with the goal of providing reliable access to clean drinking water for as many people as possible.
The News Radio Sustainability Report.
Powered by Enbridge Sustain.
For a limited time, save up to $1,000 on a featured SmartFlow system and get up to $3,000 in rebates. Terms and conditions apply. Go to EnbridgeSustainSmartFlow.com to learn more.
680 News Time, 8:51.
Time for traffic and weather together on the ones for Elmwood Spa. In the traffic cruiser, here's Kyle Hawking.
Well, no change, unfortunately, on the eastbound 401. We've still got this closure of the collector lanes beginning at the 410 and 403 through to Dixie Road for a collision investigation and police investigation, in fact. So you're forced off the highway if you're in the collectors at the 410 and 403. Heavy delays in both the express and collector lanes, Mississauga Road to the 410 and 403. In fact, the express lanes are busy through to Dixie, where that scene in the collectors actually is. As a result of this closure, the eastbound 403 collectors and southbound 410 ramps to the eastbound 401 both closed for the ongoing investigation. So it's particularly heavy on the southbound 410 from Derry down to the 401 ramps. You'll find it slow beyond all this mess from Dixon to Keele Express and Collectors. It's busy on the westbound 401 Brock Street to Salem, approaching Markham Road to Avenue Express and Collectors. As you approach Bayview and the Collectors through this stretch, you will see a stalled transport in the right lane on that the transfer into the Express. And then we have an issue approaching Keele Collectors, ramp lane blocked for stalled vehicles. So delay from west of the Allen to approaching Keele and the Collectors, and then busy from Keele Express and Collectors through to Dixon. From the 680 Traffic Center, Craig Gear.
It's a slow one on the South 404 DVP combo, Davis Drive to south of Mulock, south of Aurora Road to south of Bloomington. But the problem up here is gone. It's slow approaching Elgin Mills to 16th Avenue and Steeles to Richmond. Getting onto the westbound Gardner, approaching Jarvis towards Jameson. There's a stalled truck in here too, so not a lot of room. It's off to the right lane. It says you get into the construction delays anyway, but just not a nice drive thanks to the stalled truck and the construction now. West QEW slow through Cawthra and then west of Ford Drive to Trafalgar. Toronto bound slow at the Skyway to North Shore. Go off line to third line, approaching Winston Churchill to Dixie. And the eastbound Gardner, that's heavy from Kipling all the way through to east of Jameson thanks to the long-term construction. And your northbound DVP is slow from north of Don Mills to north of Lawrence. The North 427 ramp to Fasken is closed as part of this police investigation that's happening around the 401, and that's just another closure here, so no access there on the north ramp to Fasken. Southbound, you've got delays on the 427 from Highway 7 all the way down to Airport Road. Elmwood Spa, your wellness wonderland. Enjoy soothing treatments, water therapies, and much more. Learn more at elmwoodspa.com. With the forecast, Jill Taylor.
We've got some peaks of sunshine, but overall a cloudy, windy day, just a chance of some showers. That wind very strong out of the west, gusts over 46 kilometers per hour right now. At 8 degrees, the morning guaranteed high, then falling to 4 this afternoon, 0 for the low. 4 tomorrow, partly cloudy, and then a chance of some flurries Thursday, Friday, snow squalls on the weekend. Right now, the wind out of the west, it's gusty, mostly cloudy, 6 degrees at Toronto Pearson. The guaranteed high this morning, 8.
680 News Time, 8:54.
Why do I love getting my holiday gifts at Shoppers Drug Mart? The PC Optimum points. Perfume for mom? Points for me. Chocolates for the teachers? Oh yeah, points for me. Shoppers, you should totally go. Exclusions apply.
Light up Black Friday with Freedom Mobile. Get 50 gigs to use in Canada, the U.S., and Mexico for just $35 a month for 18 months. Plus, get a one-time gift of 5 gigs of Roam Beyond data. Conditions apply. Details at freedommobile.ca.
The City of Toronto is set to break ground today on a new mixed-use, transit-oriented housing project. Mayor Olivia Chow will be joined by Councillor James Pasternak and the CEO of Create TO for the 11 a.m. event. The new housing will be located at 50 Wilson Heights Boulevard. Coming up in 60 seconds, back to the office trends hitting the quarterly results at Zoom. You'll hear the Market Minute.
680 News Time, 8:55.
Comfort is personal. Does your chair fit you perfectly? Tired of oversized recliners? Visit Scandicor Burlington. They have the largest gallery of top-notch streamlined and compact Scandinavian recliners and motion sofas, offering great ergonomic support and personalized comfort. Whether you need a chair with a separate ottoman, a power recliner, or a lift recliner for a senior, Scandicor has it all. Save up to 40% on select models and colors. Visit Scandicor today on Fairview off the QEW between Appleby and Walker's Line or scandicor.ca.
Toronto, your perfect steak awaits. This December, Chop Steakhouse and Bar opens at 181 University Avenue. Enjoy steak seared to perfection, handcrafted cocktails, and fresh seafood in a modern, vibrant setting. Whether it's a dinner out, happy hour, or late night cravings, Chop is your new favorite dining destination. Visit chop.ca to view our menu and learn more about downtown Toronto's newest, hottest steakhouse. Chop Steakhouse and Bar, opening soon.
680 News Radio Traffic Alert.
This is Kyle Hawking in the 680 traffic cruiser. Eastbound 401 closed. The collector lanes closed. 410 and 403 to Dixie for an ongoing police investigation. The 680 traffic watch continues.
And now the Dynamic Funds Market Minute. Here's Mike Apple.
Well, I got the trade tariff tactics by the incoming Trump administration as an overhang to the market performance this morning, Catherine. But it appears that Wall Street's going to open the day at records for the S&P and potentially NASDAQ. Dow Jones, which hit a record yesterday, might pull back just slightly, 90 points. It's a lot to do with earnings. I'm watching shares of Zoom Video drop 11% after the communications software company, which saw massive growth during the pandemic, pandemic when everybody was working from home. Well, now, not so much. Its latest quarterly results did not match the lofty expectations. Down goes the stock price here in pre-market action by 11%. Retail brands Kohl's and others are down this morning. Best Buy dropping 7%. Kohl's, a U.S. department store chain, down 17% after cutting its full-year sales outlook. Same thing at Best Buy. Eli Lilly's down by 4.5% after the Biden administration proposed a rule that would require the U.S. government to cover weight loss drugs through Medicare and Medicaid, but that could bring down the pricing for the pharmaceutical giants. Our dollar's down 0.7 cents. It is trading at 70.83 cents U.S. The exchange rate just above $1.41. At the Business Center, I'm Mike Uppel.
At Dynamic Funds, we believe that investment performance matters. Invest with advice. Visit dynamic.ca/advice to learn more.
Don't wait any longer. Zankin Automotive Group's Black Friday event ends Friday. Choose from thousands of new and used vehicles, 19 of your favorite brands. Make your best deal, cash, lease, or finance, and receive a $500 tire credit and an extra $1,000 cash on your trade-in. But only till Friday. Find your Zankin Automotive Group location at zankinauto.com.
Part of the Zankin Auto Group.
Thinking of replacing the doors in your home? Hi, I'm Bernard Wokiki of Inline Fiberglass Windows and Doors. Look up our all-fiberglass door systems. They're specifically engineered with minimal frames and maximum glass to bring the light and beauty of the outside world into your home. And every inline fiberglass door is paired with a standard multi-point locking system. Our expert team will handle the installation with ease, and you'll be enjoying your beautiful new door in no time. Schedule your free appointment or visit inlinefiberglass.com.
Now, regional weather conditions for Frank Leo and Associates of RE/MAX. Frank Leo of RE/MAX has a multi-million-dollar marketing system to get your home sold. Guaranteed or Frank will buy it. Go to getleo.com and start packing with confidence.
Checking some regional weather conditions. In Burlington, it's mostly cloudy and 7 degrees. Cambridge, mostly cloudy and 5. In downtown Toronto, it's cloudy and 7 degrees. 680 News Radio is CFTR AM Toronto. It's 9 o'clock.
Number one for breaking news, traffic, and weather. 680 News Radio Toronto.
It's Tuesday, November 26th. Good morning. I'm Paul Cook.
I'm Catherine Jeté. Here's what's making news right now.
Drawing a line in the sand at the border. Canada, Mexico, and China facing big tariffs from the U.S., with Donald Trump threatening to make this a reality as soon as he's back in the White House.
A crash involving a stolen vehicle at Brimley and Eglinton leaves 4 people in hospital and another suspect being sought by police. The province's Special Investigations Unit has also stepped in.
Notorious killer Paul Bernardo will make another bid for release today when he appears before the Parole Board of Canada.
The Raptors still hurting after another tight loss last night, and we have the latest Juan Soto rumors. Sports at 15.
Nosedive for the Canadian dollar in reaction to the Trump trade tactics. The price for oil is climbing. Retail stocks tumbling on Wall Street in pre-market action. Business at 26.
680 News Time 9:01.
Traffic and weather together on the ones brought to you by Seneca Polytechnic and the 680 traffic cruiser Kyle Hawking.
Well, no relief on the eastbound 401. Still this closure of the collector lanes in place in Mississauga from the 410 and 403 through to Dixie Road. You'll be forced off onto either the 410 and 403, which either one you choose. If you go north, you can use the ramp to Courtney Park or the ramp to Derry, and then either of those two routes will get you over to Dixie and back down to the 401. Southbound, if you head on to the 403, if you go the other way, you can get off at Eglinton. That's the first chance, and then that will get you over to Dixie as well. But do expect delays on the alternates and delays leading up to this. It is heavy from Mississauga Road, not only in the collectors, but in the express as well. Collector lane delays extend to that 410 and 403 ramp where you're forced off, but it's busy in the express Mississauga Road right to Dixie, where the scene in the collectors actually is. The reverse closures in effect, eastbound 403 collectors and southbound 410 ramps to the eastbound 401 are also closed as part of this. Then we've got delays from Dixon to Kiel. On the West 401, 2 minor issues. Well, actually one now. Approaching Bayview, the transfer into the express, a stalled truck in the right lane. Approaching Kiel collectors, a stalled vehicle there has been cleared. From the 680 Traffic Center, Craig Gear.
A new collision southbound on the 404 DVP. It's right over top the 401. It's in the left lane, so heads up there. Looks to be a truck involved here. Delays Steeles down to Richmond. Anyway, westbound Gardner, stalled truck approaching Jameson. That's in the right lane. It's inside this construction delay as well. So heavy approaching Jarvis all the way through to approaching Jameson, not helping the construction and this newly stalled truck in the right lane. Join Seneca Polytechnic's open house Saturday, November 30th from 9 to noon. Meet program and service experts and take a campus tour. Register at senecapolytechnic.ca. With the forecast, Jill Taylor.
A windy day for us with a chance of showers. Right now, those wind gusts out of the west up to 59 kilometers per hour now. It's mostly cloudy at Pearson, but some peaks of sunshine as well. 6 degrees. The guaranteed high this morning, 8.
680 News Time 9:03.
It's a day one promise from the U.S. president-elect. Right after he's inaugurated, Donald Trump says he will hit this country and Mexico with tariffs of 25%.
Last night's social media post had the prime minister working the phones. 680's Jamie Pulfer joins us live with the fallout. Jamie.
Well, Catherine, this is all part of Trump 2.0 and his efforts to crack down on illegal immigration and drugs. He is now threatening to impose that 25% tax on all products entering the U.S. from Canada and Mexico, an additional 10% on goods from China as one of his first executive orders. The impact here is significant, according to Catherine Rampel with the Washington Post.
A lot of our lumber, cement, other materials comes from Canada, which means that construction costs are going to go up.
And what about gas prices? The U.S. imports millions of barrels of oil a day from this country. Eric Miller is the president of a cross-border consultancy focused on trade, supply chains, and government affairs.
This is something that will fracture everything that we've seen built in terms of supply chains in North America over the last 30 years.
Now, the move got Prime Minister Justin Trudeau on the phone with Trump last night. Trudeau also calling Premier Doug Ford, who says the Prime Minister must call an urgent meeting with all the premiers. Reporting live, I'm Jamie Pulfer.
680 News Time 9:04. Breaking news this morning from Etobicoke, where a man is in hospital after he was shot at Dixon and Martin Grove. Officers were called to the scene around 6:45 this morning. When they arrived, they found a man suffering from a gunshot wound. He was taken to hospital with non-life-threatening injuries. No suspect information's been released. Eastbound Dixon Road was blocked both ways at Martin Grove, but police say one lane is now open.
This is 680 News Radio. The province's police watchdog is investigating a high-speed crash involving a stolen vehicle in Scarborough. 680's Kevin Meisner's at the scene at Eglinton and Brimley.
A Honda CRV with a crushed front end and a smashed windshield is loaded onto a Toronto police tow truck and hauled away from the scene here. A witness tells me he saw the CRV around 10:30 last night speeding northbound on Brimley, where it collided with a white Audi SUV. Anthony lives in the area and is frustrated to hear the suspect vehicle was stolen.
It's crazy. Like, I don't know, what are people thinking lately? Like, now you got people stealing vehicles for, like, what? And then I hope it wasn't involved because they were being chased by the cops.
Police confirmed 4 people, all of them teenagers, were taken to hospital and arrested, but they are looking for another suspect. It appears police may have tried to stop the vehicle just before the crash. The province's Special Investigations Unit is looking at the circumstances. At Eglinton and Brimley, I'm Kevin Meisner.
680 News Radio Traffic Alert.
This is Kyle Hawking in the 680 traffic cruiser. Eastbound 401 collector lanes closed from the 410 and 403 to Dixie for a collision and police investigation. No timeline for reopening. The 680 traffic watch continues.
680 News Time 9:06. Paul Bernardo will make a third long shot bid for release today when the notorious killer appears before the Parole Board of Canada. 680's Laura Carney reports.
Paul Bernardo is serving a life sentence for kidnapping, sexually assaulting, and murdering 15-year-old Kristen French and 14-year-old Leslie Mahaffey in the early 1990s. Today, the parole board will again be asked to consider whether the serial rapist and murderer behind some of the country's most shocking killings should be released. But Bernardo will only have to face the mother of one of his victims in person. This comes after the parole board initially denied the families of Bernardo's victim the right to deliver victim impact statements in person. It has since reversed that decision, but the lawyer representing the French and Mahaffey families says the lack of time to make travel arrangements means only Mahaffey's mother will be present. The others will deliver their victim impact statements remotely. Bernardo has been denied parole twice in the past. I'm Laura Carney.
6 City News Time 9:07. A Burlington woman has been arrested and charged after more than 24 people paid thousands of dollars for what turned out to be fake Taylor Swift tickets. Toronto police say the accused used the alias Denise Blackhawk on Facebook Marketplace and was selling tickets to the Eras Tour at Rogers Centre. The victims e-transferred the full amount for the tickets, and some people bought them last August and were told by the accused they wouldn't be released until days prior to the concert. But the tickets were never transferred and the money was never given back. Police say 28 victims paid for fake tickets with a value of just under $70,000. Toronto police are working with Halton Police on this case and believe there may be more victims.
680 News Time 9:08. For only the third time, two brothers coached against each other on an NFL field. 680's Simon Bennett has the sounds from a sibling rivalry on Monday Night Football in Los Angeles.
All three of those dubbed the Harbaugh Bowl. John on the sidelines of the Baltimore Ravens, Jim coaching the LA Chargers. The Harbaugh parents not there. Probably less stressful celebrating their 63rd anniversary back in Florida. And just like the first two occasions, the win went to John.
Here is Hill. He gets the first down, and on he goes. Inside the 10. End zone. Touchdown, Justice Hill.
Baltimore with a 30-23 victory. John at 3-0 against his younger brother, and had kind words once it was all over.
I just told him, hey, you're a great coach, and you have a great team, and I love you. And he said, I love you, and congratulations.
Who knows? Maybe they meet again in the playoffs. I'm Simon Bennett.
680 News Time 9:09.
This portion of 680 News Radio is brought to you by AGMRenovations.com.
Hi, I'm Mike Holmes. Are you looking to renovate your kitchen or bathroom? Hiring a reliable and honest professional who treats your home like it's their own is critical. That's why I recommend AGM Renovations.
Mike, far too often homeowners reach out to us after realizing they've hired the wrong contractor. Bad workmanship, delays, hidden fees.
AGM are the only kitchen and bathroom renovators I trust to get the job done right. Your renovation destination.
AGMRenovations.com. Call now and get $3,000 off.
This is the perfect time of year to get engaged.
Think about all the Christmas parties and the New Year's Eve parties.
Everyone who cares about you will be conveniently gathered together.
And when you announce that you got engaged,
those parties will go to the next level.
People will be talking about those parties for years.
You'll have a good time.
All your friends will have a good time.
And your families will be out of their minds with unbridled joy.
I think we need to tell them one more time, Michael.
Think about all the Christmas parties.
Think about all the New Year's Eve parties.
And when you're done thinking, come to Spence Diamonds and try on hundreds of different engagement rings.
We've got all the designer prototypes right out in the open,
where you can just pick them up and try them on.
You have our official permission.
And every ring has a price on it that includes all the diamonds.
Come to Spence.
It's time to get engaged.
Spence. Located in Vaughan, Scarborough, and Mississauga.
680 News Time 9:11.
Traffic and weather together on the ones, brought to you by Princess Margaret Home Lottery and the 680 traffic cruiser Kyle Hocking.
We've got this ongoing closure of the collector lanes on the eastbound 401 from the 410 and 403 through to Dixie Road. So one interchange worth of a closure. It's because of a crash and police investigation. Details short on this from the OPP. We're not sure how much longer it will be in place, but it's been in place since the 5 o'clock hour. So delays on the eastbound 401 from Mississauga Road to the 410 and 403 if you're in the collectors. That's where you're directed off. Volume extends all the way to Dixie in the express. That's where the right lane is blocked with an issue here. We're not sure if it's related to the collector lane problem, but they've been there the same length of time. The eastbound 403 collector ramp and the southbound 410 ramp to the eastbound 401 also closed because of the collector lane closures. So delays on those two routes as you head towards those ramp closures. And then you're in volume beyond all this from Islington to Kiel Express and Collectors, and a little busy now from Bayview to the DVP Express and Collector lanes. Westbound 401 slow Brock Street to Salem. Approaching Bayview on the transfer into the Express, it's down to a single lane for stalled transport that's in the right lane with crews. And we have delays approaching Kennedy past that to Avenue Express and Collectors. Also approaching the 400 Express and Collectors to Dixon from the 680 Traffic Center. Craig Gear.
An issue on the southbound 404. Delays Davis Drive to south of Mulock. That's volume related. And then you get busy as well south of Aurora Road to south of Bloomington, and then approaching Elgin Mills to 16th Avenue. The crash is at the 401, so we're dealing with, it looks like one of the ramp lanes, the right ramp lane coming off of the west 401 ramp onto the DVP is blocked, as well as the left lane. If you're south 404 traveling onto the DVP, just over top the 401. So this crash is in the way. Delays anyhow from Steeles all the way down to Richmond on the DVP. Jamming up the drive extra. Once you get by it, though, it's still busy with that volume. Westbound Gardner slow from approaching Jarvis to Jameson. And as you approach Jameson, stalled truck here is in the right lane. This is slow anyway as well because of the construction. And we've got a minor delay northbound 400. It's construction north of King Road, and that's in the right lane. Be in to win the Princess Margaret Home Lottery $7.4 million grand prize, a luxury show home plus $500,000 in cash. Final deadline is midnight Friday. PrincessMargaretLotto.com. With the forecast, Jill Taylor.
A cloudy, windy day with a chance of some showers. The wind out of the west, very strong gusts right now, up to close to 60 kilometers per hour. And the guaranteed high, 8 degrees this morning, then we'll drop to near 4 for the afternoon, feeling like 0. 0 is the low, and then 4 degrees tomorrow, partly cloudy. Right now, strong gusty wind out of the west, mostly cloudy, 6 degrees at Toronto Pearson. A guaranteed high this morning, 8.
680 News Time 9:13.
If you're looking to get into the city's housing market and worried that prices are going to go up again next year, a new forecast this morning predicts 2025 will see more sales activity, but similar pricing to this year. And other areas around the province could be a little bit more expensive.
Mike Eppel reports from the 680 Business Center.
The 2025 sales and pricing forecast in from RE/MAX says despite mass immigration numbers, the city currently has a surplus of inventory and not enough demand from first-time home buyers and investors, raising doubt about a hot spring sales market for the GTA and overall real estate rebound. RE/MAX is predicting that prices will increase in Toronto just 0.1% and sales will be up 12.5%. So that's a big number, but that's largely from people moving into bigger homes and not first-time buyers. Interestingly, RE/MAX is projecting higher prices outside of Toronto, up 2% in Niagara, 2.5% in Ottawa, 3% in Cottage Country, 6% in Kitchener-Waterloo and Brampton. The biggest mover next year could be Simcoe County, with a projected price increase of 10%. At the Business Center, I'm Mike Eppel.
Hey, it's Dean Sokolis. The Nissan All-In Clear-Out event is on with the Drive Auto Group at Village, Morningside, Ajax, and Midway Nissan. Get lease rates as low as 1.99% for up to 24 months on the 2024 Nissan Pathfinder. Plus, visit us November 28th to 30th for a special 3-day Black Friday event. Go all in at the Nissan All-In Clear-Out event at Midway Nissan, Village Nissan, Ajax Nissan, and Morningside Nissan, driving you to a better deal.
The best Black Friday sale ever is on now at 2001 Audio Video. All streaming audio, all home audio, and all 4K smart TVs, including 2-year warranty, are all on sale at the guaranteed lowest Black Friday prices anywhere with a 60 days price guarantee. 2001, your home entertainment expert since 1971.
2001 Audio and Video. 2001.
Toronto's trusted news. 680 News Radio.
Cloudy, windy day on the way for the GTA with a chance of showers, dropping temperatures and a wind chill this afternoon of 0. We've already reached our guaranteed high of 8. Good morning. I'm Paul Cook.
I'm Catherine Jeté. Here are the top stories right now.
Reaction to last night's social media threat from U.S. President-elect Trump to slap a 25% tariff on Canadian exports the day he takes office. Premier Ford appealing for a Team Canada approach and response and says Prime Minister Trudeau must call an urgent meeting of all all premiers. Special investigations units on the scene in Scarborough at Eglinton and Brimley, where a high-speed crash involving a stolen silver Honda CRV full of teenagers happened. All 4 of them are injured and in hospital under arrest. A 5th suspect ran from the scene. After his controversial move last year from a maximum security prison in Kingston to a medium security institution in Quebec, serial killer Paul Bernardo has his 3rd parole hearing today, but his chances of release remain a long shot.
Time now for sports.
From Sportsnet 590 The Fan, Simon Bennett.
And Paul, yes, the Raptors lost again last night. Buzzer beater, 102-100 to the Pistons in Detroit. They're 0-10 on the road, but people around the team still looking for that silver lining of experience. Sportsnet's Michael Range on the Fan Morning Show.
I think if you're management, if you're even the coaching staff, and you're stepping back and going, okay, I mean, we're roughly 20 games in here. How are we doing? There's enough positive examples in terms of individual development and growth that you can feel pretty good about it.
Raptors in New Orleans tomorrow. Late night in the NHL, just 2 games, including the Canucks in Boston, 7 o'clock on Sportsnet. Leafs in Florida tomorrow. Baseball offseason, multiple reports have top free agent Juan Soto receiving offers from 5 teams. The Jays believed to be one of them. Also vying for his services, the Dodgers, Red Sox, and both New York teams. Sports at 15 and 45 past every hour or anytime at sportsnet.ca.
680 News Radio Traffic Alert.
This is Kyle Hawking in the 680 Traffic Cruiser. Eastbound 401 collector lane still closed from the 410 and 403 to Dixie. Express lanes are still open but jammed from Mississauga Road, express and collectors. The 680 Traffic Watch continues.
680 News Time 9:18.
Subaru dealers present the 2024 Solterra Test Drive, an all-electric vehicle that will surprise you. Feel the control of full-time symmetrical all-wheel drive. The power of legendary Japanese engineering with a breakout performance of Test Driver played by you. Let's hear that drop again. Experience the surprise of the all-electric 2024 Subaru Solterra. Finance rates from 0.99% for up to 36 months. See dealer for details.
Healthy Planet's Black Friday Super Sale is on right now. Save up to 60% on your favorite brands like Natural Factors. Plus, buy any Benefits by Nature product from superfoods to pantry items and earn 10 times the points. That's 10 healthy points for every $1 spent. And that's not all. Sign up in-store to become a new Healthy Points member and earn 1,000 points. That is $10 off your next purchase. Visit Healthy Planet today through December 4th and save big. Healthy Planet, your one-stop health shop with everyday value.
680 News Time 9:19.
This could be the busiest holiday travel season on record in the U.S. AAA says 50,000 flights are set to take off today stateside, and more than 70 million people will hit the roads. CNN's meteorologist Elisa Rafa is tracking 2 disruptive winter storms that could hinder travel plans ahead of U.S. Thanksgiving.
The bigger, more potent storm continues to develop in the Rockies. That's bringing some delays from Salt Lake City back towards California, and that will continue to push east and could cause some headaches as we go through the holiday week. But as we get towards Thursday, that's when they become more widespread for bigger cities, from New York and Boston, D.C., down to Atlanta, because of some of that rain and snow that will make Thanksgiving travel pretty soggy. The parade in New York City, that Macy's Thanksgiving Day parade, will also be a pretty wet one with some of that rain during parade time. Again, showers stretching down the East Coast, and it's pretty cold behind this front, so you'll want to bundle up for any Black Friday shopping.
On this side of the border, Pearson Airport gearing up for the holiday travel season. Officials today will be announcing their winter operations plan, along with showing off new additions to the airport's snow clearing fleet. The event gets underway at 11:15 this morning.
680 News Time 9:20.
Looking for a new home for your business? Look no further than Calgary, offering a great place to live, a young skilled talent pool, space to expand, and low cost of doing business. Your company will thrive here. Every day, Calgarians embrace challenges to create startups and to scale up. From clean tech, health, quantum, aerospace, and more. Join our community of innovators that will support your growth. Because in Calgary, it's all possible. Contact us at info@calgaryeconomicdevelopment.com and learn what Calgary can do for your business.
Planning a holiday party? Listen to Lana, darling. At Roost Chris Steakhouse, you get the whole party package. Custom menus with sizzling prime steaks and mouth-watering seafood, beautiful private rooms, AV equipment, personalized desserts, group photos, superior service, and never a room rental fee. Roost Chris Steakhouse. Book now for the holidays. Downtown Toronto, Dixon Road, and Markham.
680 News Time 9:21.
Traffic and weather together on the ones, brought to you by Don Valley North Toyota and the 680 Traffic Cruiser, Kyle Hawking.
Well, there's been no change all morning to this closure of the eastbound 401 collector lanes. They are shut down from the 410 and 403 to Dixie for an ongoing police investigation. The scene is on the approach to Dixie in the collectors, so that's why they've closed the highway in this section. Express lanes are still open. You're going to be in heavy traffic from approaching Mississauga Road, both in the express and collectors, through to the closure in the collector lanes at the 410 and 403. The express lanes continue busy to Dixie, where the right lane is also blocked in the express. As part of this investigation, we believe it's all related. You'll find the eastbound 403 collector ramp and the southbound 410 ramp to the eastbound 401 closed as part of this investigation also. So those two routes heavy, particularly southbound 410 from Derry down to the eastbound 401 ramp. You're forced to go westbound or onto the 403. We have delays beyond this section, Islington to Kiel and Bayview to the DBP, both express and collectors, but not as heavy as that some lead up to this closure, of course. Westbound 401 is busy with volume first, Brock Street to Salem. The stalled transport that was approaching Bayview on the transfer into the Express has been cleared. You'll be in volume from Kennedy to Avenue Express and Collectors, 400 to Dixon Express and Collectors. A little busy now, Dixie to the 410, mainly in the Express. From the 680 Traffic Center, Craig Gear.
We've got this issue on the southbound 404 still, right at the 401. It's in the ramp lane from the west 401 to the DVP in the right lane of these ramp lanes, and then also the left lane as you're making the transition from the 404 onto the DVP. So a couple lanes blocked here on the South 404 DVP. Delays Davis Drive to south of Mulock and then south of Aurora Road to south of Bloomington. Approaching Elgin Mills to 16th Avenue and approaching Finch all the way down to pretty much the Richmond ramp. Still a busy one here on the South 404 DVP. The crash definitely not helping right over top the 401. You've got delays northbound from north of Don Mills to north of Lawrence. Stalled trucks still there too. Westbound Gardner approaching Jameson. It's in the right lane. Delays approaching Jarvis towards Jameson anyway with the long-term construction. Your new Toyota is waiting for you at Don Valley North Toyota. Visit the showroom and get acquainted or have a look at DonValleyNorthToyota.com, a division of Wayne's Auto Group. With the forecast, Jill Taylor.
A cloudy, windy day. We've had some peaks of sunshine. We had that early morning rain move through, but there's just a chance of showers as we work through the rest of the day. The wind will be quite strong already, gusts up to 60 kilometers per hour out of the west. Now, the guaranteed high, it's one of those days where it's warmer in the morning than it will be for the afternoon. 8 degrees this morning, dropping to 4 for the afternoon, feeling like 0. 4 degrees for the high tomorrow. Chance of flurries Thursday and Friday, and snow squalls will set up for the weekend. Right now, we've got the wind strong and gusty out of the west, mostly cloudy. 6 at Pearson, the guaranteed high this morning, 8.
And because we did not miss the weather guarantee, the jackpot climbs to $3,700.
Coming up at 9:30, what Premier Ford says the Prime Minister needs to do after last night's social media threat from U.S. President-elect Trump to slap a 25% tariff on Canadian exports the day he takes office. Also, our Kevin Meisner at the scene of a high-speed crash in Scarborough involving a stolen vehicle full of teenagers, now injured and in hospital, but also under arrest.
680 News Time, 9:24.
Dream agents, this Tuesday's Lotto Max jackpot is an estimated $80 million, plus an estimated 14 Max Millions. Let's get those callers dreaming to the max.
Lotto Max Dream Hotline. You want to buy a pool? Why not a private lake?
Kitchen upgrade? What about your own restaurant? In Spain.
Hey, we got another dreamer.
Tuesday's Lotto Max jackpot is an estimated $80 million, plus an estimated 14 Max Millions. Why dream to the min when you can dream to the max?
It only happens once every few years. Remini House of Music presents the Yamaha Factory Warehouse Piano Sale. 2 days only, this Saturday and Sunday at the Yamaha Music Center on Milner Avenue in Scarborough. Save thousands on all Yamaha and Busendorfer pianos. New, demo, and digital pianos are all on sale at unbelievable prices. For more details, visit remini.com. That's REMENYI.com.
Last chance. The absolute final deadline in the Princess Margaret Home Lottery is only 3 days away. It's time to win big. Don't miss your chance at the $7.4 million grand prize, a stunning King City Show Home plus cash, and the Georgian Bay Show Home plus vehicles, vacations, and more. There's massive money with the 50-50, the cash calendar, and all new Wanderlist. Absolute final deadline is 3 days away. Last chance. Buy now at PrincessMargaretLotto.com. Play responsibly. Raffle 1380966.
Christmas News is brought to you by the Scott Mission.
A 40th anniversary remake of a hit Christmas song is causing controversy among some artists who argue the song perpetuates damaging stereotypes. 680's Eva Fragiscatos explains.
The remake of Band-Aid's Do They Know It's Christmas blends voices from several versions of the charity single and has sparked some criticism. Ed Sheeran has objected to his voice being recycled for the new version, saying the narrative has changed. British Ghanaian rapper Fuzo DG argues the song perpetuates damaging stereotypes, that Africa is plagued by famine and poverty, which can only be fixed by Western assistance. He spoke with CNN's Max Foster.
I think the original song and the intentions behind it were fantastic. My perspective is that, 40 years later, we need to start looking at, the results of what we've achieved. I think we need to start revising it because we need to start being self-sustainable as a continent.
The original mix of Do They Know It's Christmas raised around $14 million for famine relief in a year. I'm Eva Fragiscatos.
Christmas news.
25 minutes past the hour.
On 680 News Radio Toronto. 680 News Radio Traffic Alert.
Craig Gear from the traffic center. Eastbound 401 still closed from the 410, 403 to Dixie for a police investigation. The traffic watch continues.
Now the Dynamic Funds Market Minute with our senior business analyst, Mike Eppel. What are we expecting today, Mike?
Well, we're expecting some volatility, Paul, at the start, but I wouldn't be surprised to see Wall Street set some records right off the bat. The big question, how does this Trump trade tactic affect the outlook for the Bank of Canada? If our dollar continues to drop, can the Canadian Bank of Canada cut interest rates on December 11th? And how are inflationary pressures affected by tariffs and such? Well, the bet right now is that the Bank of Canada is still a green light for another rate cut. Markets pricing that in 0.25% by the looks of things. Our dollar is down 0.7 cents, 70.85. It has been sideswiped pretty substantially here. The exchange rate back above $1.41. Just before the bell, we've got the Dow futures down 92 points. S&P and NASDAQ pointing toward records. At the Business Center, I'm Mike Eppel.
What's your portfolio's most valuable asset? It may be your financial advisor. Visit dynamic.ca/advice to see why advice matters.
First time dad taught you to change a tire. First time driving his truck. First day of your apprenticeship. First time seeing dad in the hospital. First time figuring out his meds. First drive in his old pickup truck after the accident. 1000th time he tells you to stop riding the clutch with a smile. Whenever your first day as a family caregiver might be, we'll be there to lighten the load. Learn how we're helping caregivers at caremakers.ca.
No Frills has big holiday deals like Allen's or Oasis Juice, Del Monte Nectar, or Arizona Iced Tea for only $1 until November 27th. We're here to make your holiday spread shine. No Frills won't be beat. See flyer for details.
Amazon Black Friday week is here with up to 35% off toys to stuff their stocking. Noise-canceling tech to silent their night. And fashion like slippers to missile their toes. Shop Amazon's Black Friday deals now.
The Midday Show is next with Sarah Parrott and Irene Precklett. Have a great day. I'm Paul Cook.
I'm Catherine Jeté. 680 News Time at the Tones, 9:30.
Number one for breaking news, traffic, and weather. 680 News Radio Toronto.
Good morning. This is Tuesday, November 26th. I'm Sarah Parrott.
And I'm Irene Precklett. Here's what's making news this hour.
Will he follow through on the threat? U.S. President-elect Donald Trump says he'll slap sweeping new tariffs on Canada, Mexico, and China as soon as he takes office again.
Now that the Eras Tour is in the rear view, how'd we do?
Toronto absolutely put its best face forward.
The head of economic development for the city talks about the early returns from Taylor's trip through Toronto.
A suspected stolen vehicle crashes at Brimley and Eglinton around 30 last night, sending 4 people to hospital. The province's Special Investigations Unit is on scene.
And an almost 80-year-old rock star will perform at Britain's biggest music festival next summer.
Do we get a Matthews update? The Leafs practicing ahead of the Panthers tomorrow night. And will the Raptors win on the road anytime soon? 0-10 after last night. Sports at 45.
Wall Street starting the day with the Dow Jones down 100 points. Our dollar down almost 0.75 cents, back below 71 cents. And Bitcoin pulling back from 6 figures, business at 56.
680 news time, 9:31. Time for traffic and weather together on the ones. Here's Craig here.
This report is brought to you by Freedom Mobile. Eastbound 401 still closed from the 410-403 through to Dixie for a crash and then police investigation. Delays as you approach Mississauga Road Express and Collectors all the way through to the exit. The East 403 Collectors and southbound 410 ramps to the East 401 shut down, obviously, with this police investigation going on. You've got delays on the 403 and 410, eastbound from approaching the 401 in the Collectors and southbound from Derry. And then East 401 at Dixie and the Express, we still have this collision in the right lane. So with this being here as long as the police investigation, I'm going to go out on a limb and say it might be related. This fire truck's been sitting here for quite a long time. So problems in the Express and Collectors. Southbound 404 DVP at the 401, the ramp lane and left lane blocked off with a crash. So that's the West 401 ramp lane, one of the two. So partially blocked ramp is single file if you want to come off the West 401 onto the DVP. And delays anyway, approaching Finch all the way down to Bayview Bloor on the South 404 DVP, and also slow approaching Richmond. It's just a heavy one here, and this crash is not helping the drive. Eastbound Gardner, approaching York Bay Yonge, new crash in the right lane. Delays from Humber Bridge to east of Jameson, and now as you come into downtown thanks to the long-term construction and the new collision. The stalled truck on the westbound side approaching Jameson's gone, but the long-term construction is still there. Delays approaching Jarvis to Jameson. Light up Black Friday with great offers from Freedom Mobile. Visit a Freedom store or head to freedommobile.ca to check it out. Conditions apply. With the forecast, Jill Taylor.
Falling temperatures from a morning high near 8 degrees. Chance of some showers. Continuing windy tonight with a low near 0. For today, the guaranteed high, 8.
Right now, downtown, mostly cloudy, 7 degrees. 680 news time, 9:33. A massive threat from the U.S. president-elect as Donald Trump promises to impose a 25% tax on imports from Canada and Mexico on day one of his presidency. 680's Jamie Pulfer is here with the story and reaction from the business world.
Canada's #1 export to the U.S. is oil, millions of barrels every day. So a 25% tax would be shocking. Donald Trump says it has to do with what's happening at the border with illegal immigration and drugs. Brad Todd is a Republican strategist.
They have 2 months to reverse their lax policies. Interdictions of illegal migrants on the Canadian border are up 9 times what their previous average was just this year.
Trump threatening these tariffs on Canada and Mexico starting day one of his second term as president. He says an additional 10% would be put on goods coming from China. Business experts are worried that this could destroy everything built in terms of supply chains in North America over the last 3 decades. The move got Prime Minister Justin Trudeau on the phone with Trump last night. Trudeau also calling Premier Doug Ford, who says Trudeau must call an urgent meeting with all the premiers. I'm Jamie Pulfer.
The biggest reaction from the markets from the Trump trade threats showed up immediately with a sell-off for the Canadian dollar. And the new threat of tariffs and reignition for inflation could cause headaches for the Bank of Canada. Here's Mike Eppel at the Business Center.
At its lowest point overnight, the Canadian dollar had plunged more than a cent against the U.S. greenback. Doesn't sound like much, but with the Canadian dollar already near a 5-year low, that's just going to make things brought in from the States more expensive. Senior economist Jennifer Lee at BMO says currency traders were caught off guard because much of the election talk was about China and Mexico, not so much about Canada.
So we don't know whether or not this is actually going to happen. We don't know if this is just a bargaining ploy. I'm going to lean toward the second one. So we'll have to see. But it's certainly the currency market is always the first to react.
Lee says BMO is not changing their forecast yet for the Bank of Canada's next decision on interest rates, still calling for a 0.25% interest rate reduction. At the Business Center, I'm Mike Eppel.
So how much did the city of Toronto rake in over the 6 nights that Taylor Swift's Eras Tour was in town? Well, the early numbers are in, and it's looking really good. 680's Moment Qureshi joins us live with more details from a city official. Good morning, Moment.
Good morning, Irene. Yeah, 2 months before Taylor was coming to town, I spoke to Pat Tobin. He's the general manager of economic development for the city about the plans for the Eras Tour. And he told me the city really had a big opportunity and they had to get it right. So now that Taylor has come and gone, how do we do?
I think Toronto absolutely put its best face forward.
Tobin tells me it is still very early and they're still crunching the numbers. They'll report back to City Council early in the next year. But the indicators show Swifties were spending.
We early on projected we were going to see 152 million in direct spending and a total of 282 million in GDP impact. While we do not yet have all that data, the initial data coming back, like what we got from Moneris, the first week of dates being 57% higher in terms of consumer spending in the core than the previous week, and within that spending, 126% higher for foreign spending.
He says the city also showed it can pull off big events like this, which of course matters with the World Cup only a year and a half away. And he says the other thing that we'll have to see in the future is whether we get return visitors, because he said that was a big thing they were aiming for. And he says, I think we proved that Toronto is a place that you should visit multiple times. Reporting live, I'm Oman Qureshi.
Well, Toronto police say they have arrested a Burlington woman in connection with a scam involving fake Taylor Swift tickets that netted her nearly $70,000. The suspect was allegedly selling tickets on Facebook to the Eras Tour at Rogers Centre using the alias Denise Blackhawk. The tickets were never transferred. Police say at least 28 people were scammed. One man is in hospital after a shooting in Etobicoke. Emergency crews called to the Dixon and Martin Grove area just before 7 this morning. One man was taken to hospital with non-life-threatening gunshot injuries. No word yet on suspects. Well, the Special Investigations Unit is looking into a high-speed crash involving a stolen vehicle full of teenagers. 680's Kevin Meisner has the latest from the scene in Scarborough near Eglinton and Brimley.
Toronto police use a flatbed tow truck to haul away a heavily damaged Honda CRV here at Eglinton and Brimley. A witness tells me he saw the CRV speeding northbound on Brimley around 10:30 last night before it slammed into a white Audi SUV at Eglinton. Neighbors are expressing frustration at yet another crash in the city involving a stolen vehicle being driven recklessly.
Yeah, I could have been here, or I could have been hit. You never know, right? Or even little kids, you know? That's the worst part.
The province's Special Investigations Unit has stepped in. It appears Toronto police tried to stop the suspect vehicle before the crash. 4 people in the CRV, all teenagers, were taken to hospital in serious condition. They're all under arrest as well. Police are also looking for a 5th person seen limping away after the crash. At Eglinton and Brimley, I'm Kevin Meisner.
It's registration day.